There are fresh concerns about the risk of money laundering at Melbourne's Crown Casino. Leaked security footage of a high rollers room at the venue appears to show the unloading of hundreds of thousands of dollars in cash from shopping bags in exchange for gambling chips. Reporter Richard Willingham has more from Melbourne.
This footage shows we've got several incidents where men just casually bowl up to the counter in these high roller rooms with cooler bags you'd find at any supermarket. Now in one there's this blue cooler bag and he unzips it casually and reveals bricks of $100 notes. Now bricks and bricks of them. Each one would be worth more than $20,000. So these are then placed over the counter in exchange for chips, as you would with any transaction at the casino, to start punting. But the concern is that this is at such vast amounts of cash and bought in such a casual way that it raised the risk of the Victorian Commission for Gambling and Liquor Regulation, the gambling watchdog here in Victoria. Now, their inspectors in a report said this was a concern because there didn't appear to be any proper record keeping by Crown. Any transaction over $10,000 must be reported to AUSTRAC. Now, AUSTRAC is the anti-money laundering agency in Australia. Now, Crown do stress that they comply with all their obligations and that they are operating with AUSTRAC. But the whistleblowers that we spoke to said that this is not being reported and it's a serious concern because they don't actually know where the money comes from. Now, these rooms where we've obtained the footage from, they're the junket rooms. Now, the junket operators recruit cashed up overseas high rollers to come to Australia to bet, and they often fly in private planes, which is why there's concern about where this cash is actually coming from. In about a four-line statement, they said there's no basis for these allegations and they comply with AUSTRAC and their counter-terrorism financing obligations. They work closely with all authorities on this area. We asked them some specific questions, but they didn't answer those specifically, but they did reiterate they do comply with all the rules and responsibilities, which is not what, of course, the report said from some of these leaked documents from a couple of years ago. It comes in the back of reports in July this year, quite a big series from the 9 newspapers, The Age and the Sydney Morning Herald and 60 Minutes, which has made connections and made allegations that some of these junket operators were actually had links to serious Asian crime gangs and that Crown wasn't doing its due diligence and raised these money laundering concerns then too. At the time, Crown hit back at those newspaper reports, calling it a deceitful campaign, taking out full-page ads in rival newspapers. Again, I think at that time, The Age and Sydney Morning Herald sent a list of detailed questions and only got back a two-line statement before that newspaper response came. But Crown, again, saying that there has been nothing to see here, there's no basis for these allegations, but it will prompt, no doubt, more criticism from people who are against Crown and against people like the Victorian Commission for Gambling Regulation. They've come under criticism for not doing their job properly from people like Andrew Wilkie in the federal parliament, and here in Victoria, the Reason Party MP, Fiona Patten, as well as the Greens. As has been the state government, the Labor Andrews government have been, there's nothing to see here. They've been saying the Commission for Gambling Regulation is doing its job, and it is looking into all allegations. And the Commission, I must add, did say to us yesterday that anyone with any complaints or issues should contact them and make a formal complaint.